Welcome, everyone. We are live in San Diego Comic-Con at a palatial Airbnb, courtesy of Nerdrotic. We're live, and we're at, there we are. There's Nerdrotic saying, I am joined, of course, by Alan Ng, Dante James. This is Film Threat at San Diego Comic-Con. We have a lot to talk about today. One, the controversy at San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, there is controversy. It has nothing to do with none of the actors that are here, because technically I'm the most famous person at San Diego Comic-Con. Also, we're going to be talking about Barbie, Oppenheimer, and the new Marvels trailer just dropped.
Yay. It's the best ever.
It's awesome. So let's get things started. We're going to say hi to people in the chat. Hope you're having a good Friday. Let's go. I'm going to find that video that we play at the beginning of every episode. We were out partying late last night. Oh my God.
Turn that music off.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
okay. All right.
Nothing's changed. Hey, we traveled 100 miles to finally be together in the same room.
Right.
Right. And this is the first time this has happened, right?
This is kind of awkward and kind of fun because, like, we're always, Dante's doing his thing, Alan's doing his thing, and here we are sitting next to each other. It feels a little weird.
Yeah.
Feels a little weird. Now you see how we are in scale. Now we see how, Alan, yes, is taller in spite of, what some videos that people have made have said. Let's go to the comments here real quick before we launch right in. We have MM is now a new member. Thank you for that. Lord Thoth says, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and join us as a member. If you join us as a member, you could have been part of our jury deliberations special. That's right, Critics Court. Critics Court, the final episode is next week, July 26th. I have a little video that we're going to play. I have a video that we're going to play later. That should be really interesting. Also, Gary Sullivan says, Oppenheimer good? It's the first film I've wanted to see since 2010. Interesting.
Wow.
Mr. Smith, so I heard if you watch it as if Ken is the hero, the movie is much more enjoyable.
Alan has an interesting thought.
Alan has thoughts. The Nerd Far Away, I kind of want to see Barbie after the first trailer I saw, but later I saw a second preview. I wasn't so sure. All right, well, we'll see. The pics from San Diego Comic-Con looked like Chris and Alan were having a lot of fun out there, and I finally saw the Spidey 2 trailer. It's the Spidey Sensei 72. Also, well, who'd have thought Barbie would smash the patriarchy, says Imperfect. That was so predictable. And then Lynn Barnett says, if Barbie is feminist, Oppenheimer is too long, Mission Impossible 7 for the win. Well, we'll talk about Oppenheimer for sure. And then Darius Munchausen sends in a $1.49 super sticker. We thank you for that. But let's get right into it here. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not used to this new setup. So, but it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm kind of I'm not used to professional setup.
I know, right?
But
we should note we may or may not be on Rumble right now. And if we are, we can't see the chat. So I apologize to our Rumble viewers.
Yeah, apologies to the Rumble viewers, but thank you for tuning in. This is, you're going to see the exact same setup for FNT a couple hours from now. So look for that. I may turn up on FNT. Either me or Ken will be on the show. We'll see. But okay, real quick, Critics Court, the finale is this Wednesday. We're going to allow you, the viewers, to vote on who is guilty on all counts. But we are going to change the rules a little bit. In order for the count to stick, the vote has to be more than 90%. It has to be more than 90% guilty. If it's not more than 90%, it is a not guilty verdict on that count.
Wow. I don't know that that's going to happen. I mean, is it? Well,
we'll see.
Is it going to be a hung jury?
It's going to be
it's not going to be a hung jury.
Well, we'll see. But the trial, tune in July 26th. We're going to have a lot of special guests. I'm trying to get Nick Rekieta on the show. I am reaching out through several different sources to try to get Nick Rekieta on the show. It's going to be fun. And then after the trial is done, we're going to allow you to pick which franchise we bring to court next. What are we bringing? Is it Marvel, DC? What do you think should be our next trial?
Yeah, we need something that we can actually get a real defense set up for it. I feel like maybe DC is the closest shot we have to do that.
DC would be interesting because you've got, the Snyderverse fans. You've got DC has been such a mess. Like, I don't know exactly what the counts would be, but like also there's Doctor Who. Think of all the different franchises that we're going to make a list, and you will be able to vote on which franchise we take on in Critics Court next. But what I want to do right now is show you the trailer. We're going to drop this trailer on our channel later today, but I wanted to show you the trailer. It's a 1 minute long trailer for the finale of Critics Court. Do not miss it next week. It'll be Wednesday, July 26th at a special time, but check this out.
Yeah, everybody, come on.
Everything that Disney has done since they got Star Wars is a fuck you, and a hard fuck you.
This franchise is dead.
It sucked.
It's irrelevant.
It is completely irrelevant because Star Wars is on trial.
Answer me that.
So you lose, sir. Good day to you.
Okay,
But I just
Mike,
wanted to know then
whoa.
what you
I'm
started
asking you a
off with.
question. You answer my question now. Did you think that was acceptable?
That's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth.
Your dog is ugly.
Mr. Ing,
Is that what you're saying?
I've got a dog. Man, I've got Star Wars is dying, Judge Gore.
We laughed in their face like Dave Filoni.
The Force is fucking female in Disney Star Wars.
But guilty of the biggest crime of all, being completely and utterly shit.
McClunky.
If you do not tune in to Critics Court, you're going to miss all of that drama. So don't. You got to be there. You got to be there.
I still think it's a toss-up. I have no idea how this is going to turn out.
That is must-see TV right there.
Yeah. Well, look, it's going to be fun. We got a quick super chat here, 499 for Game of Thrones. Oh, Game of Thrones could be on Critics Court.
Actually, that's a better choice, I think.
But I think what we'll do things different with the next trial. I think we're going to do probably a shorter trial. This was like 2.5 months, nearly 3 months. The
it was
trial.
9 weeks.
Let's try to keep it short, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks. But thank you for that bass player 2011 fi. We appreciate it. But now it is time. San Diego Comic-Con is here. I did a panel called the Independent Filmmaker Survival Guide. Eric July was on the panel. Dante and Alan were also on the panel, along with my buddy Ramesh Ayer was also there. And Gary Beekler was a last-minute addition from Nerdrotic, was on the panel, which was awesome. We got a great reaction to the crowd. It was a packed standing room only audience. We're going to post the video for that next week, so you will be able to see the panel, but it was fully focused on things from fundraising, whatnot. Any thoughts on the panel and how that went?
Yeah, no, I thought it went great. Fundraising, we just talked I think for me, it was just encouraging independent filmmakers this is the time. This is the absolute time to start making that movie. And you can get SAG actors to be in your movie.
Yeah, so I will be actually doing a signing of the Attack of the Doc Blu-ray. It is here. I have copies of it. If you're a Kickstarter backer, you pre-ordered it, you're probably going to get it in the next week or so. Please post about it on social media, hashtag Attack of the Doc or tag Attack of the Doc. But here it is, $30. I'll sign it at the booth. It is 1429, the Asylum Press booth. And then I'm also doing another panel called Everyone's a Critic.
Yes.
Alan, you're on that panel.
Yeah, I've been doing that for the last few years.
I'm on the panel. There's a Facebook group. There's an interesting Facebook group that posted something. I don't know. Do you want to read this note from the Facebook group?
Sure. Yeah. So, just to kind of coordinate things, it's more of a Facebook message group. But this is from one Bob Chipman, who I don't know that I've met. But he was invited to be part of the panel, and he kindly declined. He's not in San Diego. And he says, appreciate it, thumbs up, though I may be inadvertently saving you a headache. I'm definitely not Gore's favorite person, given the company he keeps in the YouTube scene these days.
Well, okay, so here's what I would say to that guy is fuck that guy, because to me, the whole purpose of film criticism or conversation about anything is to listen to other points of view. You can debate and you can defend your point of view, but to me, to shut people off like that, it's like, it's being intolerant. It's being prejudiced, and I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of these people that are cutting others out. I think it's total BS, and it's cowardly. It's cowardly for a person to feel that way. The whole point of a whole discussion about film, we can disagree. Alan and I disagree all the time. We disagree about movies. We're talking about movies. We're talking about pop culture discussions. And the fact that certain people don't even want to bother to listen is cowardly BS. And I'm just tired of this nonsense this is why I was very proud to put on a panel called the Independent Filmmaker Survival Guide with Dante, Alan, Eric July, Gary Beekler, my buddy Ramesh, commercial director, more of a Hollywood guy, to be able to discuss. And not only that, by the way, the panel that we put on yesterday was part of the BIPOC program. They actually put us in the BIPOC category. Gary and I were the only two white dudes on the panel.
We had to add Gary at the last minute because we needed a white guy in the panel.
There were too many non-white, whatever. There were too
minorities.
Many
That's what I
I don't care what people are. I care about ideas. I care about discussing them. And I, in particular, like to talk to people I disagree with because it's the only opportunity I have to learn something is by listening. And the thing is this, if certain YouTubers were not so popular, maybe those YouTubers are popular because their ideas resonate. Think about that for a second. And if you think your position is better, defend it, discuss it, and talk to those people instead of cowardly hide behind a fucking Facebook message group. I'm just sick of these people. They are intolerant and I'm done with them. I'll tell you how I really feel later, but that's sort of my broad strokes thoughts. Alan, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, look, we used to go to the comic books as kids. What did we do there? We argued.
God.
It was all about this diversity of opinion. No one had the right take except me. And that was the fun of going to the comic book shop each week to talk it out, to hash it out, and to bust a few balls here and there.
Well, no, see, to me, yes, I agree with you. My experience of going to a comic book store has more to do with, it's not about the comics. You can get them wherever. It was about seeing like-minded people get together, and then you have that healthy debate. Healthy debate is a foundation of this country. And this is the whole point, is we can disagree and coexist. Why is this such a radical thought? It sort of sickens me to think that we've gotten to a place where we can't talk about movies because we might disagree with someone. Like, I call BS on that, but I'm going to be at that panel. I'm going to be on the panel with Alan. I'll be on the panel with anyone. I don't care. I want you to debate your ideas, defend your position, and we'll talk about it.
Well, it's funny to me because the people who preach tolerance the most are the most intolerant. And what really bugs me is we're coming off of, like Chris said, a panel we did yesterday that was extremely positive. People really got a lot out of what we were saying. We were actually helping people. We were actually helping people get ideas for their movie, giving them advice on how to get their movie funded. Eric July did a great job of giving practicals of how to raise money for your movie. We feel like we came off something very positive. So to wake up this morning and to see messages like this was really disheartening, especially because we're coming off such a positive vibe. Right. And look, whatever preconceived notions you have about certain YouTubers, man, the thing is you only see a fourth of the picture. You don't know these people as a whole, man. And when you get to know them, maybe you do disagree with their politics. Maybe you do disagree with some of their social standings. But to make these blanket statements like this, man, it really bugs the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too. But
well, this has been the going narrative. It's this idea of if you don't agree on everything, you must hate me. If we disagree on a certain subject, you must hate me. And that's furthest from the truth. And this is the narrative I think we're pushing on social media. Oh, you guys disagree about this, you must not like each other. Or there's dissension in the ranks because Chris and I disagreed on Asteroid City.
No, the reason I like hanging out with Alan, I mean, not just on the live stream, but in real life, genuinely, and Dante and this whole group is we love debating about film. I mean, I don't know Alan's opinion on Barbie. He said we should talk about it later in the stream because he might be swearing. We're gonna get to it soon. We're gonna get to Barbie. We're gonna get to Oppenheimer. I promise. But That's why I like talking to Alan. Like, and also he'll help me to see something I didn't notice, and that's what those are the YouTubers I tend to gravitate towards. The ones that play it safe, that are kind of in the middle, the ones that like everything. That I don't know. I don't really get a lot out of that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look, last week we talked about 2 movies, and you and I disagreed, vehemently about
right. Yeah.
I mean, but that's the whole point. That's why we're here. That's the fun of being a fan of popular culture, is that we can discuss these things.
100%. And let's see, Yellow Flash. I love Yellow Flash.
Bob Chipman, by the way.
Oh, Movie Bob. Okay, so the person is Movie Bob.
Wow, you must really hate him.
Oh my God. Yellow Flash is here in the chat. He says, how do I get Attack of the Doc on Blu-ray? Oh, no, this graphic right here is my schedule. Saturday, I'm doing the Everyone's a Critic panel, I think at 5:30, and 2 to 4 p.m., 1429, a silent press booth. You can, if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, you can get a copy of the Blu-ray this weekend, which I will sign, or you can go to shop.filmthreat.com. I will show it to you here, and you can pick up a copy. Of Attack of the Doc. There it is. Shop.filmthreat.com. You can get the Blu-ray. And I feel like, because I saw on social media, a lot of people have received it. So that's good. That means the postage that we put on it made its way there into people's hands. So that's good. But thank you, Yellow Flash. Always enjoy Flashcast on a Saturday. I'm probably, unfortunately, not going to watch it this week. But if you're a member of Yellow Flash 2's channel, you can watch the replay. And super chat here, Chris Gore is a master debater.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Thoughts? Thank you, Darius Munchausen, for 2. We appreciate that.
Self-debating.
Master debater. I'll take it.
I was gonna make some joke about, we've been able to witness that. But,
sometimes it depends. Like, I'll say this: a lot of movies I've seen lately are just like, I almost don't feel strongly enough about them to debate. Like, for example, a couple I'll throw out there: Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Very mid. Haunted Mansion comes out next week. I couldn't be less excited about a Disney movie based on a theme park ride. I don't care. I will see it and report back to you. I'm sure Alan will love it.
Yes, Disney is great. They can do no wrong. And Haunted Mansion, I mean, what perfect ride is there that you can make a movie out from? Yeah, I love Haunted Mansion, and I'm sure after watching this movie, I'm going to love Haunted Mansion even more.
There you go. But
and I hope Jennifer Tilly comes back.
But look, so we've been having fun at San Diego Comic-Con talking to people. That panel I thought was a huge success. It was standing room only, and I'm just happy that it's like there is people who have differing views can come together, go to panels, celebrate stuff we love, stuff we dislike. We can talk about. I don't understand the fear of just discussing and defending your views.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I do have something to say.
Please.
And I had to sleep on this because here's the thing, guys. Regardless of how you feel about Eric July, this is a successful Black businessman who is one of the few rare Black comic book creators and owners of his own comic book company, right? We need to stop using this term blackface of white supremacy. There's no such thing. There is no such thing. Black people can have different opinions about a lot of things, and we are free to have them. No one owns our opinion. So for all of the white liberals who are using this term, because it's only white liberals using this term, Black people don't use this term. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You are not a friend. You are not an ally to us. And you don't make decisions for us. If you don't like Eric July's politics, say that. If you don't like Eric July's social leanings, say that. But stop using that term, blackface of white supremacy. There is no such thing.
Yeah, Dante, I'm not your ally. So there you go.
Yeah, and neither am I.
Anyways, all right, hey, here we go.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get serious. I didn't mean to get so serious.
No, it's great. I love it.
But it's just that word, that term just bugs me so much, man.
You need to read this comment here from Paulie from Latino Slant.
No, black man, comply now. I mean, that's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it comes better if a white man says it.
Exactly. But I just don't understand this. I've always been I have strong opinions about a lot of different things, but I don't think that I don't want to push my opinions on people. I don't want to tell people what to think. You've got different life experience. You basically can come to your own conclusions about what you think about things. I'm not going to tell you what to think about things. I will give you my opinion of Barbie. Alan will give you his opinion of Barbie. So will Dante. And then you come to your own conclusion. That's the point of all of this, I'm just frustrated at the sort of childish ways that people look at the world. So I'm kind of done with all of that. Nicholas Varga for 499 says, saw Barbie last night and loved it. Greta Gerwig is 3 for 3 in my eyes. I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' opinions on it. Well, then why don't we
let's hold hands when they
we're not gonna hold hands. We're not holding hands. But we're going to talk about Barbie. So let's launch right into it. Alan, you wanted to kick things off.
Yeah. Hey, I saw Barbie last night. You guys in San Diego saw it as well. It's just basically a nice little tale about Barbie Land, and she has to travel to the real world. Hey, by the way, guys, what did you think of Asian Barbie?
Was there an Asian Barbie?
There wasn't, motherfucker. Look, this movie tries to be diverse. It goes out of its way to be diverse. And guess what? Not a goddamn Asian in it except for Ken. Stupid Ken. And guess what? Hey, if anything, there's merit there because, hey, who can we get to play stupid Ken? I know, Simu Liu. But no, not a single Asian Barbie in this movie. And this is the thing I learned 40 years ago is that Asians don't count. You can talk about diversity, you can talk about inclusion and equity and all that stuff, but Asians need not apply. And this is me watching this movie, thinking the whole thing, not a goddamn Asian Barbie in this movie. And we're very beautiful people, especially the women, not the men. And I don't know how they get away with this stuff. Look, we just had a Supreme Court case where they're allowing Asians to go back to college now. And it just frustrates the hell out of me. And, this talk of inclusion I've known it forever. It's bullshit and it's hypocrisy. And this movie is the example of that. And that's me thinking, they're trying to make this message. And I keep thinking of, but you don't care that my people are not in it. And this is indicative of all of Hollywood. We've talked about it. When you talk about diversity, it's white, it's black, maybe it's brown, and it's definitely not yellow. And so this is my perspective while watching this movie. And it was really hard to want to at least try to dig down and figure out the message that they're trying to get across, which is a whole other mess. But I just want to talk about the racial diversity, the racial issues of this film, and say it's total hypocrisy. And this is not the single example of it. This happens all the time. I'm sure Paulie understands this as much as I do.
Well, I'll to launch right in, I know what you're talking about. It seemed like it was diverse, but it was missing that element. The quick thoughts on Barbie. Dante, you'll start. I'll launch in.
Sure. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Alan said. It was what was weird to me was that this was just a fun movie, and it didn't really have the message. I wouldn't have cared all that much. The thing that's weird to me about this movie is that it is, for lack of a better word, woke, or woke-ish anyway. It's weird that Barbie was this white blonde Barbie, and the focus of the movie was about this Latin mom and her Latin child. And you're telling me that this Latin mom wasn't giving her Latin daughter a Latin Barbie to play with, which means Margot Robbie would not have been a star of the film. It would have been a Latin actress, right?
Yep.
That was weird to me. It's like, so you're telling me that this Latin family, worship this white Barbie doll with blonde hair and blue eyes. And that's if you dig deep into the movie. You don't have to even dig that deep.
They called themselves out near the end of the movie about that point. There's a narration from Helen Mirren saying maybe Margot Robbie wasn't the right person to make this
you're right.
point.
That did happen.
Yeah. So they knew it and they just went with it anyways.
My broad thoughts about the movie is the first hour is actually pretty entertaining. The first hour is kind of fun with the Barbie land, and then Barbie begins to question her existence, ever think about death. And it was, I thought that part was fun. But I will say this is not a movie necessarily for children. I don't think that kids are going to like, this is a movie for adult women who are aware of terms like the sort of college discussion over feminism and the patriarchy. So the first hour is kind of this entertaining thing. And as soon as the mom and the daughter enter it, that's when the movie kind of goes downhill. It's too long. It's 2 hours and it felt long.
Yeah.
But in the second half of the movie is where they lost me, because that's when it started to turn into this political statement. I was loving the film and it was just sort of this funny, existential, a toy questioning its existence, which is kind of also, premise of Toy Story from Pixar. Okay. But when it got to that second half, I couldn't tell you how many times I looked at my watch, like, how long is this? Please don't be over 2 hours. It was just around 2 hours ish, but it felt a lot longer. And it just, the way that the movie ends, not to get into spoilers. Okay. I'm a brief spoiler. Okay. So anybody you want to check out or mute me for like a minute. Here we go. The movie ends with Barbie going to the gynecologist because of her parts. That's how the film ends. I mean, it's this movie, and we saw it with a crowd that really loved the film. I mean, they were whooping it up, they were laughing. But I will say this: the second half of the movie, it just got a little quieter. It became like sort of a luxury independent film, and I was like, oh, this would be interesting. But this is like this. I think what's going to happen is a lot of families are going to take their young daughters or just kids to see this movie. This is not a movie for kids. This is definitely not a movie for kids. No. I will say this: Ryan Gosling actually did a very good job as Ken, and I like the whole Kenland thing. I thought Kenland was kind of fun. Kendom. So it's this. So it's like this mixed bag of like, I have to admit, I was entertained in the first half of the film. It just, when it got a bit too lectury, I was kind of checking out.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a message there, and the message is going to hit you over the head like a lead pipe.
Yeah.
Right.
And we could talk about that messaging. I mean, this is how I approach these political debates or these political issues. If you were to flip the script and replace the main characters with the opposing side and vice versa, what kind of movie would you have? I mean, let's think about the movie in general. We're in Barbie land. It's run by women. It's a matriarchy. So then they go to the real world where Ken finds out that the real world is a patriarchy. It's run by men. And so he comes back to Barbie land and turns the matriarchy into a patriarchy. So how do we solve that? By bringing it back and become a matriarchy, which seems to me the exact opposite of what you want. You're just taking one group, pit them against the other group. When that group takes over, the other group goes back in the battle and takes it over again. And this idea of working together, of being a community, is lost on this entire film.
Exactly.
It's like the Supreme Court is 9 women. They go to the real world. Hey, guess what? Our Supreme Court is half women. And it just shows that no one has progressed over time. That racial issues, that gender issues have progressed, has evolved to a level that is far better than it was when I was a kid back in the 70s and 80s.
And you know what's funny though? now that you bring the Asian Barbie up, Alan, there was a trans Barbie. And there was no Asian Barbie.
Oh no!
There was
right.
There was a
transgender Barbie.
There was a normal Barbie too,
and no
Asian Barbie. Yeah.
So this is a weird mixed bag. I will say this: I do think that my enjoyment of the film was helped by the fact that the audience actually enjoyed it as well. So that was surprising, but. I feel like maybe if you go in knowing this, you can kind of check that out. But to me, as soon as the mom and the daughter entered the picture, the movie went downhill from there for me. Yeah. And there you go.
I was out from the beginning because I couldn't see myself.
All right, guys. What would you rate it out of 10, Dante?
Oh man, I'm gonna say honestly like a 4. I'll give it a 4. I'll be fair, a 4.
Okay. Alan?
Yeah. Well, let me just say that the review is on Film Threat, and
cool.
And Film Threat's score is an 8.
What?
Who reviewed it?
Bradley reviewed it, and we're talking about Film Threat is a diverse set of writers and reviewers.
Fair enough.
And so Bill loved it, and I let him write it. But personally, I would give it a 3.
Okay. All right. Wait. Now I want to see this because.
Yeah, one of the quotes that Bradley puts in there is that those who are anti-woke won't like it, and he is right. He is 100% right.
Yeah. Okay. So there
you got to hit the read more button.
I'm gonna hit the read more button and get through the ads. We have too many ads on the website. Look at this.
Is it anti-woke or we're just tired of it?
Yeah. I think people are just. I think people are tired of it.
I mean, this is full woke. The movie is full blown woke.
Yeah. So well, there you go. Look at all these.
1 point for Margot Robbie being hot.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that's why I gave it a 4, because Margot Robbie is very hot in the film.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, there was a discussion on Twitter about like Margot Robbie being mid. I 100% disagree with that. I think Margot Robbie's very.
No.
She's sexy.
She's mid without makeup. That was the whole point.
So what? And she's definitely not mid without makeup. Give me a break.
She's hotter without makeup.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we need to acknowledge the fact that we are 3 men.
Yeah.
Who are
By the way,
sure, that's fair.
We're not the target demographic for the Barbie movie. So the fact that, what'd you give it, a 4 out of 10? You gave
3.
it 3 out of 10. I'm going to say 5 out of 10 because of the first half. If I was going to rate it, the first half is genuinely entertaining. It's when the mother and daughter enter the picture that the film takes a big turn, like a 180 to like, what is this movie about again? So,
in all fairness, America Ferrera was really good in the film. So even though, like Chris said, it does take you out of it when the mom and daughter appear, America Ferrera was very good.
Yeah, but her character would not buy an Asian Barbie. That's my problem.
Let's go to the chat and see what you all think here. We've got some super chats here. Fear the Turtle 21 says, watch the first 6 Mission Impossible movies last weekend for the first time, seeing MI7 tomorrow and Oppenheimer Sunday. Y'all got me watching movies more often than I have in a long time. Just wanted to say thanks, guys. Oh, well, thank you. What I do think is fun is just sort of the collective conversation, which is why this panel tomorrow, everyone's a critic. Everyone is a critic, and you have the right to have your opinion, and also my opinion about a movie does not invalidate your opinion about a movie. You're free to have your own opinion, as well as Alan, Dante, Gary, anyone. It doesn't matter.
And the fun again is in talking about your opinions.
Exactly.
And it's more fun when you don't have the same opinion.
Exactly. Hey, we've got over 1,200 people watching this live.
Whoa.
So thank you for that. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel.
Are we at 85,000 now? Or no, 88,000. That's something
we're trying to get to 169,000. That is our goal.
We're halfway there.
Another super chat here from Pilgrim Media for 5 says, not woke intersectionalism is pure Frederick Engels. So there you go.
People are saying woke, it's intersectional.
Yeah. It's intersectional feminism all the way. Big Worm for 10. Hail all. Barbie should have been elf. Barbie is absurd in the real world, but her values end up changing the people she meets there. Could have been uplifting. That would have made tons of money, live long and prosper.
That's one thing.
That, Big Worm.
That's one thing that I kept thinking about at the end of the movie. But it's like, what is Mattel's current opinion about their product these days?
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, I have my wife, huge Barbie fan. In fact, she for 2 years she was Barbie for Mattel. She would do appearances for Barbie. And so, and she fit the classic look, the classic image. I told you this.
You married Barbie?
Yes, I married Barbie. I had sex with Barbie. That's all right.
Well, there you
the
go.
look on my daughter's
Alan's
face right
daughter
now.
is right there. Right there.
God, Alan.
Hi, Dad. I miss you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, you know, what is, you know, are they trying to tank the company like Disney is as well? I don't know. I mean, do they understand who buys their product, who bought their product? And just the fact that, you know, America Ferrera, her character bought the white Barbies and played with them and loved them. I mean, what does that say about, you know, Rachel Ziegler talked about, you know, people criticizing her for being the Colombian Snow White. And then she posts all these pictures of her as a child doing cosplay as these white princesses. I mean, I don't understand the messaging at all. You know, apparently, you know, these kids 20 years ago, they saw themselves as these princesses, so much so that they wanted to dress up like them. What's going on today?
Let's look at some of these other comments here. We have from Anthony says, thank you for telling me that I'm going to tell my aunts they hate that crap. They were hoping it was going to be some nostalgia style stuff because they played with Barbie. Latino Slant, Paulie, hey, there were no men in this film. Disclaimer. Akanika, bait and switch, fun in the beginning, then a lecture. I mean,
I don't know that we were baited into. I think we kind of saw this one coming.
Yeah. Let's see. Kino reviews. So Barbie ends up getting an abortion? No,
maybe that's in the sequel.
And let's see. How's your father? Says Ken goes to a urologist too. No. But I did like Ryan Gosling as Ken. I thought he was cool.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? He committed. I'll give him that. He committed to the role.
He committed. He went full Ken.
He went all in.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I was having issues of, you know, the way they were presenting these Barbies. It was almost unrecognizable. I can't imagine this was how girls played with Barbies when they were young. And Ken was the villain. At least he seemed to flow in and out of that villain.
No, he was the villain of the film.
Yeah, but they were trying to,
another comment here from Garfield's Bizarre Adventure for 5 says, Barbie should have been a satire on materialism. You mean, you know, not pushing. I mean, I think Barbie's bigger than ever now because of this movie. It says much of the same way Starship Troopers was a satire on fascism, missed opportunity. 100% agree, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. But when you look, I mean, and also the other thing, we should talk about the experience of seeing this film. We were at a movie theater. Every woman there, and some dudes too, were all dressed in pink. Yeah. I mean, it was a pink fest. It was kind of insane. We had something to eat at Yard House right next door to the theater before we went in to see the movie. And you just looked at a table and people go, oh, they're going to see Barbie because all the women there are dressed in pink. It was sort of like one of the films that you dress up to go see. Like, I think the last movie I remember that was like that was Black Panther. Yeah. Where people would dress up to go see it. They had to have on, like, you know, whatever, an outfit.
Traditional Wakandian garb.
Yeah, traditional.
No, there's no doubt. The marketing for this film, genius. It's genius. I worked in marketing for 20 years. I'm telling you, the marketing was amazing. So much so we bought into it.
Yeah.
We bought into the marketing.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I got to tell you my experience at my theater. I saw it in Orange County. Same as you. Most of the women there were in pink. And there's a moment at the end of the second act where kind of America Ferrera gives this speech that gives Barbie new motivation to stand up for themselves and retake Barbie Land. While that was happening, I would say about 6 teenagers came into our theater, and I think they were playing hide and seek from one theater to the next. And so during that whole time, there were like these kids running around in front of the screen, you know, kind of checking. I guess they were playing hide and seek maybe, and they were looking for someone. But
because they were bored. Because I guarantee
Yeah.
kids are going to be bored by this movie.
Yeah, and
all
so-
the ideas are going to go over their head, even when they're being indoctrinated with a lot of this stuff.
And this is the weird thing, because I have no idea if this was regarding the movie or not, but I would say 10 people got up during that speech, walked out, and then I'm not sure if they came back or if they were part of that hide and seek group or something, but it was really distracting. And this reminds me of when I was a teen, when people were just starting, you would watch a movie, people would be yelling at the screen, throwing popcorn at the screen and stuff like that.
Well, I'm glad we saw a later screening, because our screening was like at 9 p.m. and there weren't any kids at that screening. And I don't know that any kids seeing this movie would have enjoyed it. I can't imagine a young girl who plays with Barbies seeing this movie and going, what is this movie about? By the way, I'm 7 years old playing with Barbies. I want to see a fun Barbie movie. And she goes to the gynecologist at the end.
See, that's what's weird for me is Mattel. Why did Mattel sign off on this? Like, how does this movie help their brand? Like, this movie isn't going to want to make little girls play with Barbies. So if your company is selling these toys, how does this movie help you at all?
Yeah. Let's go to some more chat comments and questions here. Okay, we got that. Thank you, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. You got us on a rant there. King Comics, if only Stanley Kubrick had been around to direct Barbie. Well, there is a very interesting, it's funny because I actually thought that teaser trailer for Barbie where they reference 2001: A Space Odyssey, a movie that probably young girls who play with Barbies have never seen. So I got the reference and I thought, oh, this is a cool teaser trailer for Barbie. That scene is actually in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then Helen Mirren is this narrator throughout the film. But I thought that was clever to me, but I'm not going to buy any Barbies. So there you go.
I'll say this. To me, the only really good, funny part in the movie was the whole beaching thing. But that's in all the trailers. That's in every single piece of advertising. So when it shows up in the movie, what should have been a funny moment is now a tired moment because we've all seen it before.
They ruined the best joke in the movie, which is the "I'll beat you off."
Right.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, that's not a very clever joke, but it's at least the funniest thing in the movie.
Alan Ing at the National Comedy Theater this weekend.
I will judge your comedy. Bring your comedy to me and I'll judge it. And I'll tell you whether it's funny or not.
Well, that's true. Actually, Saturday you are at the National Comedy Theater.
Yes, I am. Okay.
Right after our panel, I got to actually leave early and then book off.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Another comment here from Hannibal Grimm says, after seeing Barbie, I get why they are leaning heavily into the marketing while Oppenheimer has no need for it. Lol. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, that's going to be a box office battle. We'll discuss that in a second. Is that NA? I'm on a small screen here. Usually I have a much larger screen. Love Film Threat. Also love that at the end of the movie, Barbie held all the Kens hostage until real women got more power. Equality is not good enough. Oh, that's interesting point. Yeah, that's a weird message.
That was always the battle when I was growing up. When it came to civil rights and the women's movement, the battle was equality, and now it seems like it's revenge.
Yes, exactly. And this is what I say to people that people on certain sides of the politics. Like, do you want progress? Do you want actual progress, or do you want revenge? And it feels like, based on the rhetoric that we see so often, so casually thrown around, except in real life. It's really bizarre. When you walk around in real life, people that are keyboard warriors, they fall meekly aside in real life. And the things they say online are, to me, just abhorrent. And so...
it doesn't just apply to the women's movement. That applies to race. Mm-hmm. It applies to sexuality. It's more about getting back at the person, right? Getting back at the group that kept us down versus actual progress.
Yeah.
Where we can all just sort of hang out and whatever. And we can put on a BIPOC panel at San Diego Comic-Con without trying. Yeah, without even trying. I just invited people on who I thought have interesting points of view that I believe would genuinely contribute and help a new indie filmmakers that are coming up on the scene.
Well, I think we need to stop talking about this, or Dante won't get his reparations money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And you know what's funny too is the people who are making these comments about certain groups. This is more of a BIPOC panel right here,
right,
than I've seen on most of y'all's YouTube channel. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm just sort of tired of it being such a focus because I feel like it's focused on the wrong thing. Anyways, all right, back to Barbie.
Back to Barbie,
real quick. So we gave I gave it the highest rating. I mean, it's still.
Yeah, I mean, a 5 is walking that line, basically.
Yeah, no, because that first half is so fun that I felt like, but you're right. Someone in the chat talked about how it could have been, a commentary on materialism, except that defeats the purpose of selling a bunch of Barbie crap. There are more tie-ins. I think I might have sent this to you. All the Barbie tie-ins. There's like Cold Stone Creamery has like a Barbie flavored ice cream. I have no idea what it tastes like, but it's just the marketing tie-ins are insane, but they're all targeting, frankly, it's not targeting young girls. It's targeting adult women, all the stuff with Barbie. We were hanging out last night with Anna, that Star Wars girl. And by the way, Anna, that Star Wars girl, I'm calling you out. We're having a debate about RRR. It's going to be on Nina Infinity's channel in the next coming weeks. Be prepared. And even though Anna and I vehemently disagree about RRR and the merits of that film, we hang out and whatever. She was dressed up like she had a Barbie hat. She was dressed in full pink. Anna was full on Barbie mode, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is she is the target demographic. I also believe that she didn't like the film. So, Anna, that Star Wars girl, shout out to her and her channel. Check out her review. So and whatnot. You've got 3 older dudes saying, I didn't like Barbie. So take our opinion with a grain of salt. I will say, I can't deny I was not entertained in the first half. Now,
wait, Chris, are you saying the movie wasn't for us?
Yeah, I'm saying it wasn't for us.
Well, why would they make a movie like that?
I you know what? I like the Ken parts of the movie. The Ken parts were awesome. Let's talk about box office here. Before we just go to Oppenheimer. Okay,
I just want to make one.
Sure.
We talked about it could have been about materialism. Honestly, it could have been about feminism, like classic feminism. The Betty Friedan type of feminism. But I don't think this is a movie that necessarily Betty Friedan would have liked. It's not. I don't think it really addressed the issues of feminism that needed to be talked about back in the day. I don't know.
What do we think this is going to do box office wise? I will just say that it's going to beat Oppenheimer. It will beat
Oppenheimer. Yes,
it will beat Oppenheimer for 2 reasons. One, it's just I think they're 2 completely different audiences. I think Oppenheimer's going to have legs. I think it's going to sustain over the weeks because it's playing in premium format theaters. Problem with Oppenheimer, you can see Barbie twice for the amount of time you can see Oppenheimer once. That's just reality, folks. That's just reality. So Barbie's going to win the box office this weekend. But what's it going to do? Is it going to beat with the last few weeks? They've now coined the term flopbuster. These are movies that were expected to do incredibly well that underperformed, which is almost every movie Hollywood's putting out lately. Let's go through it. The Flash, flopbuster. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, flopbuster. Mission Impossible 7.
Jury's still out, but it could go that way.
Well, jury's still out, but we did last week when we were talking about box office. We did go through the history of the Mission Impossible movies. They make respectable money stateside. They make way more money on a global scale. That's just reality. When you look at the global box office, they do very well globally, not as well in the United States. That's actually true for James Bond movies as well.
Last time I checked, though, I don't think the global is that impressive.
Yeah, I checked it recently too. It was like 100 and something or 200 and something million, I think.
Yeah. Now, Barbie isn't a sequel, okay, but it is an intellectual property with, it's been around since 1953 was the first Barbie, right? So you've got all this brand recognition for Barbie. So it seems like something new and fresh, as opposed to Mission Impossible was the 7th movie. The Flash, how long have we heard about The Flash? We've heard about The Flash for years. That movie was originally supposed to come out in 2018. Okay.
And they had 1,000 fan screenings beforehand.
Yeah, they had I think more than 1,000 fan screenings. I think everyone that wanted to see it saw it at the fan screening.
And they saw it for free.
Exactly. So how do we feel this is going to perform in light of recent flopbusters? And I'll point out these flopbusters are all sequels, and we're not talking about sequels like the second film, the seventh film. The Transformers movie is what, the fifth Transformers movie? Right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Bumblebee, like The Flash is like really sort of the closing the book on the Snyderverse, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe Aquaman 2 is going to do that. Who knows? But where do we think Barbie's going to land? And I will say this, I think it's going to do very well. I think it might actually do better than Mission Impossible did last weekend, because even trying to get tickets to it, all the Wednesday screenings, which was an early, they called it the Barbie Party fan screen, every single seat was full, every single seat.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we went to get tickets last night, a couple people joined our group at the last minute. They could only find like single seats here and there. So what is your prediction?
I will say this. I believe Barbie will have a great opening weekend and it'll drop off. The biggest thing that I walked away with was, I don't know that there's repeat screen. There's going to be repeat screening after this. I don't think there's anything in there that's so inspiring that'll make you want to see it again.
Right.
And so it will definitely beat Oppenheimer. It'll do very well. It may even take down Mission Impossible, but I think next weekend it's going to experience a huge drop.
Yeah. I think it's gonna do really well this weekend. Second weekend is always taking the temperature. Does it have repeat business? Is it going to get the repeat business? Is it going to get the curiosity of people who thought about seeing it and then finally are like, well, I'll go see it because all my friends have seen it. I want to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah. Oppenheimer, like an actual bomb, is a slow burn.
Nice.
We'll get into it. Dante, any predictions on Barbie?
I think it's going to do well first weekend. I don't see families really going out together to watch this movie. I think it's going to be a bunch of girlfriends who, and gay friends hanging out.
And they won't see it again.
And they won't see it again because this isn't really a feel-good movie. It's not a movie you're going to walk away from saying, oh yeah, that was a good time.
I mean, the
Barbie movie is not a good time.
It's not like you can't make a message movie, but that message should be inspiring. You know, it should make you feel like you need to see that again. You need to hear that message again.
You know what this movie should have did? This movie should have every girl walking away feeling like, I'm happy I played with Barbies when I was younger.
Yeah.
You don't walk away feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I wouldn't know. I mean,
about that we're not talking about spoilers, but the last line of the movie.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah,
it was a long, depressing setup to a joke.
Yeah, it was. This depressing setup of Barbie going to the gynecologist. It was just very bizarre to acknowledge.
I mean, if this was a real Barbie, if this was a real Barbie movie, she, instead of going to the gynecologist, she would have filed her presidential papers.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to go against Trump and DeSantis.
You know what this movie should have had women feeling, or little girls feeling? They should walk out of there feeling like, I am Barbie. And they won't feel that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well,
so any other final Barbie thoughts before we pivot?
Well, the theme is the thing that really bothered me. Because the idea was, Barbie doesn't need Ken. Ken doesn't need Barbie. And I think at the end, we got to the conclusion of Barbie doesn't need anybody. We had just gone through this pandemic where we were cordoned off from everybody. We were isolated from everybody. And there's this idea that you don't need anybody. You be you. You decide what you want to be, and you go out and do it, and to hell with everybody else. And I think that's this message of humanistic individualism. It just goes counter to what we learned in the pandemic, which was we are social people. We need each other. Whether we're men, women, cross races and class, we need each other. And this movie goes completely against that.
Let's pivot. I'm sure we'll talk more Barbie throughout this conversation, but we have over 1,300 people watching us live.
Whoa.
Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We're trying to get to how many subscribers, Alan?
169.
1,000 subscribers. So real quick, what I'm going to do is, because we've got a lot of people here, I want to show this trailer for Critics Court next week, the finale. If you've not been watching Critics Court, Star Wars on Trial, it's the trial of the millennium. And Wednesday, July 26th at a special time is the finale of Critics Court, where you, the jury, will decide, is Disney Lucasfilm guilty of murder of the Star Wars franchise?
Everybody, come on.
Everything that Disney has done since they got Star Wars is a fuck you, and a hard fuck you.
This franchise is dead.
It sucked.
It's irrelevant.
It is completely irrelevant because Star Wars is on trial. Answer me that.
So you lose, sir. Good day to you.
Okay,
But I just
Mike,
wanted to know then what you
I'm
said
asking you a
about
question. You answer my question now. Did you think that was acceptable?
Not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth.
Your dog is ugly.
Mr. Ing, is that what you said? I've got a dog. I've got Star Wars is dying, Judge Gore.
We laughed in their face like Dave Filoni.
The Force is fucking female in Disney Star Wars.
But guilty of the biggest crime of all, being completely and utterly shit.
McClunky.
If you do not tune in to the final episode of Critics Court,
Just a preview, but there's gonna be more of that on Wednesday.
There's going to be a lot more of that. We've got, oh my God, the videos that we have.
Yeah, we have
show.
compilations.
We have compilations of every episode, like little, I can't wait for you to see it. So, but let's talk about Oppenheimer, folks. Let's talk about a little Oppenheimer here.
Now, the interesting thing about Oppenheimer.
Who here has seen Oppenheimer?
I haven't seen it.
And did you see it on film or did you see it on digital?
I saw it on film. So I have seen
Did you?
I have seen Oppenheimer, and we're going to talk about it. So real quick, on film. I saw it at the Universal City Walk AMC, which is one of the best, probably the best IMAX screen in the Los Angeles area, okay? Great screen, amazing. It was in 70 millimeter. And I predicted something would happen during a screening of this film, and it absolutely happened. Of course, the screening started a little bit late, okay, but that's normal that's normal for a press screening. 10 minutes into the film, something happened and it went dark. And when the film started, there was hair in the gate. This is something we have not seen for years. You probably don't remember the last time you saw hair in a gate, because everything is digital. All movie theaters are digital, and movies come on hard drives called DCP drives, which are very particular type of hard drive to be able to screen the film. As it broke, something happened in the projection booth, and I'm telling you, this is probably you're going to hear this happening a lot, because you took all these projectionists who were very skilled. It's a very specific skill to be able to successfully project a screen at a film at a movie theater and screen it properly. Okay, and this is what Christopher Nolan wants. He wants you to see it on film, and in particular 70 millimeter if you can. So something happened, the lights came on, the screen went dark, whatever, and it was 30 minutes to fix it. I have no idea what was going on, and they were saying, please don't leave, we are going to fix it. We do have, but they did admit they had a backup DCP in case they couldn't get the 70 millimeter working. So all I can say is expect this to happen probably more often than not, because all the people who are skilled in projecting film, they're not working for movie theaters now. So this is going to present some problems. I think you may or may not, when you go to see the movie, you may or may not be seeing it on film, because my feeling is that these prints may, and who knows, maybe it's a marketing thing, but them admitting that there's a backup DCP means, what I believe is that a lot of people are going to be seeing this digital and may or may not be aware that they are. In any case, let's go beyond that. Okay. This film has a problem that I believe I've talked about quite often, which is it's too long. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes, and the movie is effectively 3 parts. There's 3 chunks. At the beginning of the film, you meet Oppenheimer, and you get sort of his personal backstory. He was involved with a woman who was a communist, played by Florence Pugh. This is all true. He was not, in fact, a communist himself, but he had affiliations with people who were. and this is a big part of the first third of the film. He is a brilliant scientist that also is tortured by these visions of an invisible world. What is that invisible world? The invisible world of atoms. And you actually see this in his head. He's actually losing sleep. It's the most, in terms of a Christopher Nolan movie, Christopher Nolan's never particularly surreal. And surrealism, Christopher Nolan has always played with time, right? When you look at Dunkirk and other films, he plays with time in his movies. And I feel like he almost goes out of his way to let you know he's very, very smart. I don't know that you always need to do that, right? But there's a surrealist nature of this film where you see the visions in Oppenheimer's head. Some of these visions actually happen so he's in a real life situation, but the vision actually manifests itself physically in the real world. And by the way, I'm not going to talk spoilers at all about the film because Alan hasn't seen it. Dante hasn't seen it.
Yeah. I don't know if he makes that bomb or not.
Yeah.
And do the Nazis get it? Don't spoil it, please.
But I'm going to get to that. So we will have a deeper discussion next week after you've had the opportunity to see it, Alan, and we'll have a spoiler discussion next Friday.
Yeah.
And then by then, I'm sure most of you will have had an opportunity to see it. So the first hour is Oppenheimer's personal backstory, which is, in my opinion, most of that you could have done in much shorter time. I did check my watch a couple times in the film, and the first hour is the backstory. The movie gets really good when Matt Damon enters the picture. Matt Damon does a scene, his character is introduced. He's basically recruiting Oppenheimer to be a part of this program to develop the bomb. That scene knocked it out of the park. So the dialogue, Matt Damon's sort of back and forth with Cillian Murphy, fantastic. I feel like I was like, where's this movie going with all this? Do I need all the personal backstory of Oppenheimer's? I mean, look, he was a philanderer. Okay. He slept around a lot. He was married and then cheated and did all this stuff. And okay, so that's the first part. Once Matt Damon enters the picture, that's when the movie to me, the movie started when Matt Damon entered the picture. That's when it gets really interesting. Of course, they create this town with all of these scientists. They have to recruit scientists to actually come there and live with their families. That whole thing is amazing. That middle hour of the film about the bomb, absolutely incredible. Leading up to, obviously, it leads up to the detonation of a bomb. This is all in the trailers. And that part, I'm so glad I did see it in IMAX 70 millimeter. That part is so well done because one, we know that Christopher Nolan is not a fan of digital effects. He prefers to do, not only is he not a fan of digital effects, he's not a fan of doing ADR. ADR is additional dialogue recording. So almost every Star Wars movie you see, because it's so loud on the set, they re-record the dialogue after. And IMAX cameras are loud. So they've got to be contained in these giant boxes so that they're quiet and you're actually hearing the real dialogue as spoken on the set. I love this attention to detail for Christopher Nolan. I was even unaware that films like The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, he uses these things called bigatures. They're like large-size miniatures. He prefers to do effects in camera, practical effects, only ever use digital as a last resort because there's no other way to achieve an effect. I love that aspect of it. And all the things with building the bomb, they talk about like they're mining this plutonium. Should they do a certain type of bomb? And it's represented by these marbles in a jar. There's sort of, it's just hard to process the material to make the bomb. That's a slow process as they're even trying to figure out how to the different ways that this bomb could be lit off. All of that they go into. I'm saying I like the scientific aspects of the film. Love the whole science aspects. The other thing that I'll point out is my first thought walking out of the movie was that is the most actors chewing the most scenery I've ever seen in a movie. There are so many, I mean, after a while it got kind of ridiculous, like bit parts, and you'll see, oh, there's Oscar winner Rami Malek. Oh, there's Benny Safdie as a scientist. Oh, there are so many actors in this film that are Oscar caliber actors. They've either been nominated for Oscars or that it almost got distracting after a while. Like, who did everyone just call Christopher Nolan and say, could you just please put me in this movie? A little bit distracting. I would have almost preferred character actors than well-known actors, but it is what it is. Cillian Murphy is amazing in the film. As you build up to the bomb being lit off, this is not a spoiler. It's in history. Yes, it's in history. You can look it up. That stuff. It was so quiet in the room, and the theater shook. So be sure to see it in premium format. You have to see that. So that middle part is like the best part of the film is the middle part. The last third of the film, because I'm like, okay, we're a little over 2 hours in. The bomb is, where does this movie go? Then it goes into conversations, and I was unaware of this. They almost didn't need to use the bomb. It was going to end the war with Japan, and they were debating about which cities should they bomb, and Oppenheimer was a part of those conversations. And they specifically didn't want to bomb Kyoto because someone honeymooned there, and for its historical and cultural significance. They were looking for, and they were looking for America to basically demonstrate this as its might. And you see that this all weighs not just on Oppenheimer, but on the scientists. That scene alone is when he realizes what he's done, what he's unleashed on the world. There's this surrealist moment where gives the speech in front of the scientists, basically congratulating all of them for the success of the movie or success of the bomb. And they've got all these American flags there. And you see in Oppenheimer's head, he's just having this out-of-body experience that, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? And then the last third of the film is about not just him dealing with his guilt, but also this kind of kangaroo court, because he became the father of the atomic age, and a secret committee is trying to discredit him. I don't want to go into details about that. Robert Downey Jr., his character is a big part of it. So I'm speaking in broad strokes here. I just felt that the movie is too long. Now, it's going to turn people off. And I feel like it's such an exhausting physical experience to get through the film. I almost feel like I want to see it a second time before I render like a full verdict of it, because it's this incredible, masterful middle part of the film, bookended by two parts that I believe are flawed or could have been told shorter. And if the point is to make a statement about our current nuclear age, I feel like Christopher Nolan might have been better served by a shorter running time and something that appealed on a more mainstream, broad basis. So I can't give you, I'll tell you this. I recommend seeing it. I plan on seeing it a second time. I don't want to throw a number rating on it. I think that's kind of trivial for a film that I think is worthy of more discussion. I'd like to see it a second time, and I want to talk to Alan. But you're in for an experience, and that's what I'll say. But I do believe this film is flawed, and I think the big flaw is running time. The running time is going to turn people off. If you want to make a statement that appeals to a large number of people, I hate to say this, he could have made a more commercial movie, and that's all I'll say on that. Any thoughts based on?
Is this an awards movie?
That's the other thing I wanted to point out too. The other thing about this film is we're seeing this movie in July when we've seen all this sort of nonsense, Transformers, The Flash, all this stuff. And this movie should have come out in November. This movie should have come out in November. This is an awards movie. This is not a summer movie. Hey, it's the summer. Want to go see Oppenheimer? It's 3 hours and 15 minutes. No one is, I feel like dropping this in the middle of the summer, and then Nolan, there's these dictates. It can't be on digital for 100 days. It's got to play in theaters for a certain number of days. It's being released by Universal. They cannot release any other movies for the next 100 days. So it's got this theatrical window of 100 days to play in theaters. So at some point you're going to find the time to go see it. I just think this movie would have been better to be released in the fall. When more serious films, I think people are kind of ready for that. I do think the summer is kind of like, let's see mindless entertainment. Let's have fun. I think it's going to hurt it. I have no idea how well box office it's going to do. I know it's not going to beat Barbie at all, but I do think it's going to resonate and have legs, mainly because of this theatrical focus. What are your guys' thoughts on?
I think it's kind of hard to say because maybe it's genius to release a film like this right now because of all the fluff. Maybe dropping a movie with substance is probably a good idea.
Maybe he knew the strike was coming.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, I mean, look at what's that movie? Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom. I mean, that's a heavy movie. That's a heavy ass movie, and it's doing very well in the box office right now. So,
but I'll just say to Sound of Freedom, Oppenheimer. Okay, two movies that are trying to make statements about our world, right? Mm-hmm. One about child sex slavery and trafficking. The other one about the age we live in, the bomb, and the fact that we've entrusted the ability to destroy ourselves with moronic politicians. The movie definitely points out that a lot of these politicians are complete morons that now have been given these gifts and these tools by scientists that now feel guilty for having created them. So that's part of it. But Sound of Freedom is, I'll say, under 2 hours.
Sure.
I don't want to say it's entertaining necessarily, but it is an white knuckle, edge of your seat thriller film that makes a point, and I think its point is stronger in the sense that it made that point in its under 2 hour running time, and I think that's important.
I should correct you. It is over 2 hours. It's 2:15.
2:15.
Because we were saying it's the same length. It's the same length as The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, exactly. The Little Mermaid. What a
I agree. Tonally, they're very different movies. Runtime is a big deal. I mean that is a big difference.
What I'm saying is Sound of Freedom made its point better than Oppenheimer did, and I think Sound of Freedom will resonate more than Oppenheimer. No, because I do believe that and you've seen the box office. Sound of Freedom just crossed $100 million.
Yeah.
This is a word of mouth. They're not running TV ads during sporting events. This is a word of mouth movie that is resonating with people. It's resonating a lot.
Yeah. So Disney had a movie that would have tripled it made triple profit basically. But I'll say this about the 3 hour runtime.Maybe it's a good idea because it is summer, it is heating up, and to be in a building that's air conditioned.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that wasn't the factor that was not one of the factors of releasing it during the summer.
Sure. And I'm sure it can be a deterrent for most people, right? 3 hours, that's a long time for me. But we're also talking about Chris Nolan. And we all know Chris Nolan has a fan base that will always support. He has a great reputation amongst film goers. So I think the movie is going to do well. It's not going to do Barbie numbers at all.
No, but I don't think there was an expectation it would.
Right, at all. But I believe it's going to do well.
Let's go to your chat comments and questions here. Some super chats here. For 10, Hayden75 says, I haven't seen it, but it sounds like the target audience is women who refuse to grow up, but their bodies changed, and people who believe there is patriarchy.
Yeah, Oppenheimer, definitely.
It's back to Barbie. Sorry, we missed your comment earlier when we were talking about Barbie. We can talk about anything now because we're going to wrap up the show a little early today. John Thomas for 5 says, that NS about, what's NS mean? Am I stupid?
Is it nonsense, maybe?
That nonsense about America only dropping it to demonstrate our might is revisionist history BS. It is discredited by contemporaneous records. Okay,
what is he saying?
That's the movie. Basically, they really wanted to just make a point. They could have ended the war without dropping the bomb. That's what they're saying in the film. That's what they're saying. I'm only going by what the movie said.
Okay.
S. Madrigal for 5 says, love your Twitter, Dante. Also, Barbie is actually a comment on the culture as much as Oppenheimer and Sound of Freedom. You three rule. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm getting triggered over here.
Yeah.
Yes, they could have ended the war without the bomb. It was about
saving lives. Yeah.
Yes.
Because that was a front
the movie does talk about that. There's this debate of, do we kill this many people doing this, or do this many people die a different way? So that's what the movie does deal with that aspect.
Unfortunately, it was civilians that died. It wasn't soldiers who died.
It's going to do very well, says Do Something 34. And Thundarius says supremacy is what they want, not equality.
It's interesting, but you could swap Sound of Freedom and Barbie in terms of how the other side is criticizing it. In a way. There you go. Another comment here. While Oppenheimer intro probably could have been shorter to its improvement, all of the events are true. We are looking for that dive into what happened then and the aftermath, and it delivers on that, says Desiree Wong. I mean, we talked about
I agree with that. I agree with that. But that first hour about Oppenheimer's personal life, while it kind of ties into the end because they're trying to discredit him for having relationships with certain people, that could have been played so much shorter. The fact that that's the first hour and the movie really begins when I feel like I want to see the movie again. I'm just going to walk in when Matt Damon walks in because that's when the movie starts. To me, that's when the movie really starts is that aspect.
To me, this is the importance of this movie. It's history.
Yes.
This happened.
Yes.
And I'm going to say you probably didn't feel like there was a lot of revisionism going on with this movie.
Barbie is her story.
Yeah. Barbie is her story and Oppenheimer is history. So that's Gary Beekler yelling that joke out. Thanks Gary for the assist. I appreciate it. Lawrence Gillespie says, are civilian lives worth more than soldiers' lives? Well, maybe civilian lives on the other side are worth less to us.
I would say one is more equipped to defend themselves than the other.
It's interesting because I had a friend named Andy and his fiance was there. And she's Japanese. And I asked her, so what did you think of the movie? And she's like, I don't know. She had mixed thoughts about it. I mean, she's an American with Japanese heritage. I just wonder how, predictions, guys, how's Oppenheimer going to do in Japan?
Oh, geez.
No, I was going to say
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I was going to say it.
No, go say it.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. You say it.
It's probably going to bomb. It's probably going to bomb. Oppenheimer bombs in Japan.
There it is.
Somebody had to say it. I had to say it. So you can't. You're thinking the joke. So, there you go. The chat is saying it's gonna bomb. Super chat here. 20 from Brandon Anderson. Chris, I pre-ordered Attack of the Doc last week and can't wait. I watched almost every DVD Tuesday appearance I could find on YouTube. Also a great YouTube channel that plays entire G4 episodes. And with commercials is called, what's it called? News Pool Channel. News Pool Channel. All right. I'm going to check out News Pool Channel. The other thing is I want to let you guys know, now that Critics Court is ending next week, starting in August, we're going to have DVD Tuesday. I shot 40 episodes of DVD Tuesday where I talk about DVDs out of my personal collection. They're all sort of evergreen. Like I brought out like a bunch of different films, rare movies, bootleg films, like all kinds of crazy, weird stuff from my collection. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're going to get new episodes of DVD Tuesday. And that is to celebrate the release of Attack of the Doc. So there you go. Thank you, Brandon. You're going to love the movie, the Blu-ray. Here it is. 28 and a half hours of extras of just total content on this. Easter eggs. There's a secret Easter egg menu. I made it pretty easy to find, but try to find all the Easter eggs. Every menu screen has an Easter egg. Then there's a secret Easter egg menu with a ton of Easter eggs. And if you like DVD Tuesday, I put some of the DVD Tuesday episodes on the disc. It is literally full. This entire disc is full. It's a dual-layer disc. We put the maximum amount you can fit on one disc.
There's one great Easter egg on there.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and ruin it.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Alan's on the. So we recorded the Q&A. It was actually a fan recorded it and allowed us to use it. Of the Q&A at the premiere of Attack of the Doc, which was at the Frida Cinema on it was April 21st, and Alan conducted the Q&A, and one of us was very drunk.
Yeah, and I wish the really drunk Chris Q&A was on there.
We did 3 screenings at the movie theater that day, and by the third one, I didn't buy one drink that night. Everyone was like, "Hey, let me buy you a drink. Thanks for," and I was.
Oh my God.
You mean that night?
Yeah.
Oh, that
third one. That third one.
Oh shit, I remember that. Yeah, Chris was 3 sheets, man.
Yeah. Chris was, I'm so drunk. I'm so drunk.
I was slurring by the end.
I mean, thank God Anthony was there because he could at least answer the questions for you.
Right? No, it was great. It was great. A bunch of Anthony Ray Bench was there. Bobby Schwartz, Walter Arias.
No, you know what's great? So we went to there was an after party after the screening of the film, and after that third Q&A, Anthony comes to the bar and he comes up to me and he's like, "Dude, you missed the greatest shit show in the world."
The shit show is me.
Not only was Chris drunk, but one of the more vocal question askers was also drunk.
The Frida serves drinks. The Frida serves drinks. There you go. All right, we've got some more super chat. Oh, we've got, let's see. Calhoun has become a YouTube member.
Hey.
Thank you. Join us as a member. And then so a couple more comments here. Declan Lyons for 10 euros. Thank you for that. Primarily, Alan, do you think there's less focus on Asians in US film because Asian cinema is so strong? Most non-English speaking films I've seen from Japan and India than maybe Korea or China.
Yeah, I make 2 distinctions in that. You're right in terms of Asian cinema. It's excellent. It's great. I mean, Parasite won the Academy Award. My biggest thing is Asian American cinema. And actors. Asian American actors get completely screwed here in the United States and in Hollywood, big time. And that if there's a soreness, it's in that because we came here, we're just as artistic and talented, and we do not get those chances. And I will say it's a big part of it is Hollywood's fault, but it's also our fault in the sense of, when I was growing up, if I had said that I wanted to become an actor, my mom would have sent me off to medical school, medical boarding school. And that dream would have died.
Well, also, it's Joyride, this movie that I think we all liked it.
Loved it.
Loved it. It's a great raunchy comedy, kind of bombed. People did not turn out like they did for Crazy Rich Asians.
Well, I mean,
from the same producer.
Yeah, I mean, it is an indie film, and I think the biggest comparison would be No Hard Feelings. No Hard Feelings did a little bit better, but I think that one had a hard time at the box office as well.
Well, I'll just say this. I think that you should not take your daughter to see Joyride.
I will not take my daughter to see Joyride.
Do not take your daughter.
Hi, Dad, I miss you.
There you go. There you are. More comments and questions here, and we're going to be wrapping. Another super chat here from John Thomas for 5 says, "You just convinced me not to see it. For anyone critical of dropping them because of civilian casualties, my response: the Grape of Nanking." So, yeah, it's.
I mean, that was an actual discussion.
Yeah,
because I've heard of that discussion. When I was in high school, learning about it myself. Yeah, it's a tough decision.
Yeah. We're gonna be wrapping things up early today. I want to thank, first of all, Gary Beekler, Nerdrotic, and the whole FNT crew. Garrett, everybody here, just thank you. They helped us do this setup. We don't normally sound this good. I want to get a good microphone now. No, this is my promise to you. Is after the trial wraps up, Alan and I are both redoing our setups. We're going to have a much better,
mostly audio.
We're going to have a better setup. That's my promise to you.
How much is this thing? $100?
Yeah, it's nothing. I get 2 of those.
I look at that.
And so I want to thank Gary Nerdrotic. He's such a getting to know him in real life is just been amazing. We're both of the same flaws. We'll look at each other and go, the one thing. Yep. And we both forget it, but we know what it is. We know what we're trying to think of, but we both can't say it out loud. So our brains are both addled in the same way.
And I don't mean to shatter Gary's image here, but he's actually a nice guy. I know he had this image of being, but he's actually a really nice guy.
Super nice guy.
Yeah. And I will say dinner last night could have been an episode of FNT.
Right. And also, hey, want to thank Alan and Dante coming down, you were here early in the morning and picked up the coffee for us. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
I appreciate that. And also want to thank our Lord Thoth, all of our mods, Paulie Latino Slant, everyone there, and Ms. P. Coffee. Want to thank her. Next week, Critics Court finale. Please be there for that. And then
you do not want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. And then a week from today, we're going to be talking about Oppenheimer more, because more of you will have seen it. In addition, we're also going to be talking about Haunted Mansion.
Yes, I will have seen it.
We're going to talk about a few other movies other than that. And I also want to thank you for sticking around and hanging with us today. We just appreciate our, the way that our channel has grown. We were this little tiny channel, didn't know what we were doing for years. We kind of hovered around 20,000 subs. Now we seem to be growing an audience, and we appreciate you for that. So thank you. Be there next week for the Trial of the Millennium. It is the finale. I'm going to be this weekend. I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. You can see me doing a signing at, I'm going to be at booth 1429 at Asylum Press. Come by on Saturday at between 2 to 4 p.m. I'll be selling copies of Attack of the Doc, the Blu-ray. I've got it there. Then I'm doing a panel with Alan called Everyone's a Critic at room 24 ABC at 5:30 p.m. Maybe some surprise appearances. It's going to be awesome. Surprise appearances at that panel. So join us. And I'll just be walking around hanging with everybody. I think Dante and I are going to be going to a bunch of parties. Isn't that right, Dante?
That is the plan. Hopefully. We'll see.
And then if you're in town, the Tivoli is my favorite dive bar in Old Town and the Gas Lamp in San Diego. So the
burgers there are amazing.
That burger,
so shocking.
I want another burger. But thank you so much, everyone. We'll be back next week and a week from today. Davina Duckworth, I see all our regulars in the chat. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
And great meeting some of you who are in San Diego.
Yes, that's right. We have met a lot of people who watch the channel. They tell us that they love the court show, so we're proud. We're going to continue it, but we really want you to decide what our next trial is going to be. I can't wait for that. Any other? Oh, Alan, you're going to be at the National Comedy Theater on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Saturday, 7:30 p.m. See Alan do improv comedy, National Comedy Theater. You've got my schedule. Follow me on social media at that Chris Gore. Dante, where can people follow you and tell them about your channel?
Yeah, you can follow me at the Verbal Riot Show on YouTube and sometimes on Rumble, depending if they upload my video.
Oh, there you go. And Verbal Riot Show. Subscribe to Dante's channel for that, and follow Dante.
And if I'll be on the floor. If you're at Comic-Con, if you see me, come up to me, say hi, man. I love meeting you guys. It's a good time. And
then also, I'm going to be on FNT later today, which is probably going to be in about an hour and a half. It's an earlier Friday Night Tights on the Nerdrotic channel. Starts at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, or wherever you are all over the world. So FNT, Friday Night Tights, starting earlier, 1 hour earlier than normal. It'll probably be late still, but that's okay. That's we're on Gary time. We're all on Gary time, and we love him for it. So thank you so much, Alan.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.